I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm gonna pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes.
It's the old
He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped Gilligan get off the island.
Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to the children? Why you lying to the children? RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been to bed. Man, they know they no contest. Yahuwah, he do the bless. We will not see you tomorrow. Cause you cannot go to thought. All the sons and all the daughters. Standing hard with big manodas. But my son, he made me Taurus. On that line, I'm still a Taurus. Karate kicking Chuck Norris, 4-5 on my waist. If he started, will not hesitate to get retarded. Oh lordy, he ain't got a PowerPoint, he farted. He running to the hills like a Philistine. G-Hawk hitting Hamites with the guillotine. Situation turned up with the ratchet team. JJ 7000 to the bait league. I know them haters gon' hate me, but he won't debate me. Pistol off safety. He respond, come wake me. If I don't get up, nigga shake me. If he don't show up, then he fake G. I touch down and make these nigga nuts hate me. Dear brother, ballin' and crawling all the way from H-Time. Let me get straight to the business. Man, them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? You gon' cry, you gon' get it. Me, I'm like a frog, nigga, ribbit. Of course, it's in the spirit. I just got the Porsche, she can steer it. Mito got the raw, shack and will it. Lamborghini doors, you better not spill it. Mama's high, say I'm more than just a villain. Mama's cry, I'm dope and wide for her children. Suicide, immortalized as a realist, Death by cop, black suicide. Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been there. Man, they know they no contest. Yahuwah, he do the best. Wow, what's that? Why ain't they taking over? Number one debate league, you heard me? When it's up, it's stuck. I'm setting on everything, nigga. Metaphorically, of course.
Well, all right. Once again, putting it down for you and yours, for those who've been notified and you're already here and you've been waiting on. One of the most high-powered and dynamic installments on the Lion's Den. We welcome you. And this is, again, the conversation continues talking about what's on your mind. And we're your host. But first, let me give an honor to the Lord in Christ, from whom all positive thoughts flow. And we are your host. You got the one and only, Yeshaya Dar, JT Raw. I am Brother Mala Akaya, messenger of the Lord. And of course, making sure that the runways are clear, that all flights come in and out in regards to conversation and overall maintaining the sanctity of the Lion's Den and its social media platform. We have the seventh answer, Lady Karima, the lioness. And as always, we want you to understand that when you come into the Lion's Den, you are going to get hit with the seven eyes. If you don't know what the seven eyes are, assuming that you are new here, You're going to get intelligence. You're going to get integrity, inspiration, influence, independence, insight, and information. Now, understanding when you roll with the lions, you're rolling with the pride, the righteous pride, and that's PRIDE. We're always permanently ready in destroying evil, starting with our own. Yeah, that's right. We don't sit up here as Mr. or Mrs. Holier than thou. We have our issues like anyone else, but still, we let the God man and God woman in us shine forth first to bring you this wonderful social media platform. And also, when you roll here with us in the Lion's Den, we are one of the many factions of the anti-coon movement. Now, what's a coon? There are other names for coon. They use Sambo, porch monkey, but here we will use coon because it's spelled COON, and that's a complete, obedient, obvious, yes, a boss, nigga. Now, I'm not using that word for the sake of using it, but I'm not with the N word and all the other social nicety. We're just going to break it down like it's used. We're anti-coon. We don't do that here. And also, we specialize in being the platform that is truthality for you listeners out there. Truthality TV, however you want to apply it. The Lion's Den is the truthality station, all right? And we come in the spirit of Isaiah 41 and 21. Biblically, from a Bible standpoint, there's the book of Isaiah 41:21. We're always going to be ready, willing, and able to produce our cause on all levels. And 1 Thessalonians 5:21, which tells us to what? Be ready, willing, and able to prove all things. See, everything that we say here, we're going to prove it with facts. We come with the facts. It's FACTS. And that is frequently accurate, correct truths. No chasers, no fillers, no artificial ingredients, just the facts, y'all. And sometimes we don't always agree here. So, here on the Lion's Den, this is the home of Point Counterpoint, better known in some circles as the Debate League. And that's a good thing. It's a great way to learn. Because sometimes I'm not always accurate in certain things that I present. JT may fall short. And that's why we have the lovely Karima, the seventh answers. If we fall short, she comes in and we help each other. So you're also getting hit with Virgo energy unapologetically. Now, last but not least, the house rules when you come into the Lion's Den, as laid out by one of our other lionesses and family member, I Am Manna. We want you to wipe your feet, mind your manners, conduct yourself in an orderly manner, and enjoy yourself. Because at any given time, if you get out of pocket, the seventh answer, the lioness, will throw you up out of here. And don't come looking for Ishai nor JT. That's me, Malachi, that is. Don't look for us to come and save you. Because we're not going to be able to. And we're not going to want to. And, now last but not least, yo, if you're someone who can't handle the truth, if you can't handle the facts, the seventh answer, Yeshaya, and myself, we will offer you our deepest sympathies because we ain't gonna compromise it for nobody. So you're free to leave now. So now, with all the formalities out the way, Captain Yeshaya, the seventh answer, Lady Karima, has said the runway is clear. And if you're ready for takeoff, my brother, then fly, my man, fly. As the conversation continues, what is on your mind?
Well, yeah. What's on my mind is when we look at the policies of America, who is it connected to? Is it connected to God or is it connected to Satan, the devil? That's the question we got to ask ourselves right now, this very day. I see the policies of America. None of them are righteous at all. When our people was in captivity in this country, hell, we still really in captivity. We ain't really free. Let's keep it real. But according to their rules, in the year 1865, we were supposed to be free. Now, when you look at the events that took place in 1865 and beyond, when they were letting our people go, and they said, "You Negroes are free," there was a thing called in Natchez, Mississippi, called the Devil's Punch Bowl. I don't know if some of y'all know about that, but that was a thing where these people dig a big, giant hole, and they were throwing our people in there so they can basically die. You understand? And then you go into the Jim Crow era, which ended around 1965. Then you look at all the times when our people were getting falsely accused and murdered, lynched, all through the South. When you look at everything connected to America, it's not of God. It's not. You're not under a righteous system. You're under a corrupt, wicked, evil system. And that's exactly what I see. And the man running the show here in this country, he is a moralist man, a lawless man. He don't got no spiritual insight to anything that's right at all. Look how he acts himself. Look how he conducts himself, man. When people ask him certain questions, he disrespects everybody. He's a man of no character. And when you got a place like this called America and you got people that have no character, no connection to anything that's right, soon it will fall. And America's falling. Look at the events that's taking place all over the earth, man. Do you know that Europe, majority of Europe is on fire? Go look it up. It's on the news. Spain, Italy, France, Portugal, Turkey, Albania, Greece, and others on fire. Then you look at what's going on here in America. You see earthquakes occurring, storms, typhoon, hurricanes and tornadoes. This is just the beginning of the judgment of the Most High on this place, on the kingdoms of the world. Then you ask yourself a question, well, why is he making all these things take place? Because of the wickedness of man and women on earth who don't want to repent for the sins they committed on this planet. That's why he brings it. And this is a message to white people in America and the world. Y'all really need to repent and ask him for forgiveness for what you have done on this earth. Going back 200 and 300 years ago unto this very day. Y'all, it's something to say this too. Every one of you as a people, if I had to really be honest about this, all white people on the planet got mental issues. Why I say that is that you blame everything on black people when something go wrong that might affect you. You blame us for it. When we don't have the power to bring forth anything in this country or the world that'll affect you people at all, but you blame us for it. You understand? Like you got poor white people in this country. I'm talking about in this country. I'm dealing with America here. You got poor white people in this country, call them rednecks, hillbillies, whatever you want to call them. Appalachian people. The reason why y'all are in the predicament and situation you in is not because of us here. It's because of your brothers and your sisters that have that power and money and wealth that's keeping you down. It ain't me. It ain't us. That's why you people need to wake the hell up. When you look at it, when a society is corrupt as this, and as long as it's been corrupt, there's no way in hell that is going to remain. You're seeing just the beginnings of what he really is going to drop on this earth, man. And in America and Europe and abroad. I'm going to say this. The Sea of Galilee has just turned blood red. Just saw it on the news a couple of days ago. That's the sea that he walked on water. Sea of Galilee is in the land of Israel today. That's a sign. Blood represents death, basically, if you want to get technical. That's what it is. The Euphrates River just dried up, completely dry. I seen a video where a man put a microphone to open holes where you can hear like demons and screaming and hollering because they want to get out of there. The four fallen angels that were placed in the river Euphrates. They in chains. Now that that water is dried up, he most likely gonna make them break them chains and come through there. Come through that. So this is what I said. We got to get on board, man, because he's about to unleash his great power on this earth, man. We got to stop being stupid. You know what I mean? Stop coming on these different programs and streams and podcasts talking about dumbass things that don't mean nothing. When the whole goddamn world we see right now is falling apart. And here we are, not me and us personally here on this program. We talking about and debating about the most dumbest damn things on earth that ain't gonna change nothing for us. You understand what I'm saying? So the time has come to stop playing games, man. Stop the playing game and really get on the real deal. Come to the real deal table, man.
But Yeshai, can I come in real quick, real respectfully? Yeah. Let's be careful when we say that. Let me explain what I mean. See, what makes the Lion's Den so special is that it offers a vast array of different discussion panels. Now, what means? Allow me to finish. Allow me to finish. See, we have to be able to respect other people's opinions and other people's taste and what they like to listen to. What may not be important to you may be important to the next man. What may not be significant to you is significant to the next person, especially if it's still within the realm of what the Most High has put forth out here. You know, let's not forget that many of the disciples, the acolytes, not all of them had the same discussions. Not all of them walk in the same wavelength. Each one of them had different distinctions and talents and missions that they conducted. So let's be careful now, because that's what makes this social media platform so dynamic. The offering of various varieties. So now, again, what may not be significant to you, what may not be important to you, may be important to others, and we want to make sure that we don't insult. Hear me. Let's make sure. Let's be careful not to insult other people and their dynamics and their talents given to them by the Most High. Okay, let's be careful. Go ahead. It's on you, Jay. Are you still there, Ark? Okay, you must have. But okay, so like,
I said, yeah. Look, man. What our people need to understand is, listen, man. The very God that we claim we serve, man, he ain't about no stupidity, man. He ain't about none of this stupid. Y'all can do what you want. I'm talking about in the eyes and mindset of the Father himself. He ain't about all this ignorant, stupid things, man. As you can see, I'm talking about us here. We can see straight up what the hell he's allowing to go on the earth. You think he playing games? We ain't got no damn time here to play no more, man. That's what I'm trying to say. You can do what you want. You can say what you want. But in the end, what you talking about Is that going to liberate anybody? Some of the things that people come on here and talk about. We're talking about liberation. The kingdom that we stand in, the kingdom that we in right now is falling apart. Falling apart. And we on this, and some of us coming on here, we talking about how far the moon is. I don't give a damn how far the moon is, because you ain't gonna never go there. You understand? It's about fixing the community now, man. Hold on, I'm gonna finish my point.
Well, here come the counterpoint when you finish.
Right. Listen, we've been playing damn games as a people for too damn long that all nations been seeing our people's stupidity and ignorance. Ain't y'all sick and tired of people calling you names, looking down on you? Y'all ain't tired of it? Then keep doing what you do. Go ahead, man.
Now, the counterpoint on that, like I said, this is why we got to be careful. Now, yes, again, this is what I like, the fact that there are different dynamics and discussions that are in here, because check it out. There's some brothers who come in here and they discuss astrophysics. They discuss matter, antimatter, but now the discussion of the moon and the signs. Here it is, right? As we come in with our dynamic, don't you know that right now, as we're speaking, in the universal order right now, the planets, all the planets, are aligned in a configuration that has, when all the planets align in an array, that is the herald of spiritual judgment that's going to come here on the earth. So see, again, what may not be your cup of tea is someone else's cup of tea, but it has its significance in what we discuss. Yeah, we talking about biblical prophecy, which goes into social issues. But all these things that are happening are because the planets are now in alignment, and now with them in alignment, this has also been significant in what? The judgment of the Most High. Remember when he said that when you see the moon in certain quarters, when you see certain planets in array, look at certain signs within the universe under the science of astronomy. All of it has its merit. But I understand what you're saying, okay, that we have to make sure we can have those discussions, but don't negate the social, political, spiritual, and all the other upheavals that we are now witnessing. I just want you to be careful. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Point, counterpoint. See, this is how we do it here on the Lions Den. Go ahead, JT. It's on you.
Pretty much what he's saying is don't knock nobody else's mission. Everybody else got a mission. Everybody else got a calling. Your calling might be talking to the people. Some might be, boots on the ground. Others might be other things. But do not try to discredit somebody else's calling or what they're bringing to the table, because it's not what you want them to do. But go ahead.
And see, seventh answer, look at that. See how you work? Because now you just quoted, whether you know it or not, 1 Corinthians 11 chapter, talking about how within the administration of the Great Spirit, the Most High, that he gives everybody different talents and abilities. There are some who are called to be proselytes. There are some who are called to be ministers. There are some who were called to be healers. Everyone has this, and then we go to the book of Proverbs where it says that we're supposed to be like the ants. All the ants in the ant kingdom have different missions and different assignments and all that. So we got to make sure we don't disrespect no element of the body, because we're all still one body. But now, Yeshaya, dog, let's get this show on the road, baby boy. Now, you talked about the Euphrates River drying up. You're talking about the Sea of Galilee turning red. There are a lot of things going on out here in the world right now, ladies and gentlemen. And when you tune here on our segment, the conversation continues. What we're doing is beyond all shadow of doubt, bringing the Bible to you raw, straight with no chaser. We're bringing to you that everything that's happening in this known galaxy and universe and right here on this earth is not by accident. It is not by no evolutionary theory. It is by the divine hand of the one true God, whose name in the Hebrew is Yahweh. Depending on what, then there are those who speak different dialects. Some say Ahaya, some say Yahuwah, but the bottom line is, it's the one true God. So the significance of what we see happening, biblical prophecy is in full effect. Matthew, the 24th chapter, when the disciples asked Christ, what would be the signs of your coming? Now, there have been saying, some who've been saying, oh, there have been things going on in the earth. That is true. There have been a lot of events going on in the earth throughout the years. But in this time frame, things that are happening all over the world, there are a great many people paying attention saying, yo, they've never seen it like this before. But then again, it has happened. And now it's happening again. See, for all our listeners out there, we want you to understand this here. What you're looking at now is the divine judgment of the one true God on America. America's the primary target. And we're not anti-America. What we are is anti-lies, anti-subterfuge, anti-satanic practices. Well, I guess that makes us indeed anti-America then, because America runs on evil. America's not a righteous government. We can no longer pussyfoot and play games and act like we don't see. This nation was founded on blood, founded on thievery. And there are scriptures in the Bible that says, woe to a town established on blood. Woe to those who steal other people's lands and portions through blood. So we have to now stop playing games, as Yeshua just did just say. And I am definitely in agreement with that. So this is, we know that a great many of you out there are tuning in here to the Lion's Den of all different ethnicities, because you know why? Here, you know you're not going to be lied to. Here, you know that we're not being paid millions of dollars to lie to you. See, you got CNN, the crappy news network. You got NBC, nothing but crap. ABC, Americans broadcasting crap. CBS, the crappy broadcasting system. And what is crap? CNN, the crappy news network. The theme there is crap. And oh yeah, Fox. Okay, FOX. All right. You got fraudulent, obnoxious excrement, a fancy word for crap. And see, what is crap? By way of American media, CRAP, you all tired of being bombarded by continual, repetitive, asinine programming. Crap. But you don't get that here on the Lion's Den. We're giving it to you again, like I said, straight with no chaser and divine from the Most High through Christ. Unapologetically, we do this. And like I said, we're going to discuss all things spiritual, intellectual, emotional, social, political, economic, and military. And again, Matthew, the 24th chapter, is now in full effect. Christ said, when you see wars and rumors of war, and now what's mounting now? Israel is mounting for war. Iran is mounting for war. Kazakhstan and every kind of stand you can think of in the Eastern Hemisphere is mounting for war. And right here on American shore, oh yes, make no mistakes. You are about to see a civil war erupt right here on the American shores, not by our hand, Not that we're talking about sedition. No, the biblical prophecy is at hand. What your boy Donald Trump just did, your president, Donald Trump just did just a couple of days ago, by now incorporating the National Guard into the Washington, D.C. police force. Who you think that attack is really for? Who you think they're mounting up for? See, go back to what was happening in ancient Egypt and all the other empires the children of Israel served. See, they're coming for us. We understand, and we're letting you know out there, FBI, CIA, COINTELPRO, and I know you're listening to it. We are letting you know, as you study us, we're studying you. And we're letting you know that the God of Israel sees what you're doing. And this is how it's going to go. Here on the Lions Den, if nobody else ain't doing it, we're now saying we are the children of Israel. And the God of Israel is now commanding and demanding that you let his people go. If you don't want to let us go, you want to harden your heart, that's fine. Because he's going to break his raw foot off in your behind so deep through Christ, his son, that you're going to doodle sandal. Some of y'all might bristle when I say that, but this ain't about no love or no peace when Christ come back here. He said it himself, think not that I'm coming for peace. I'm coming with a sword. And what's a sword? A weapon of war. There are too many freaks, kooks, and crazies and demons walking with earthly feet out here, and they got to go. But this whole thing that Donald Trump is pulling, this is what it is. We know that you are now, like the Bible said it would happen, that the great dragon would declare war on the children of the Lord. We understand exactly what you're getting ready to do. But know this, and we're going to put you on notice, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not. What you coming to do to us, the Most High is going to do quadruple to you. It's not going to be on one side of the fair. It's not going to be where you're just going to roll up on us and we're going to let you hurt us. The shift has been slowly coming. But now the Most High is indeed putting the warlike spirit on our people. And that's why you're seeing right now the outbreak of black folks now starting to kick off in these crooked KKK, Gestapo, Nazi cops, domestic terrorist cops behinds now. It's not making the news, but it's happening more and more. As a matter of fact, it was a story out of the same Henderson, North Carolina. A police officer was beating up on a young man who was surrendering. The police officer had brass knuckles, y'all. I'm going to get more detail on that story. But let me just give you the overview. Long story short, that cop was beating this man with... Now, first you got to ask yourself, what the hell is a police officer doing with brass knuckles? But this white cop was beating on this man's son. That man, father, the father of that man, came up on the set and clobbered that damn cop. Look, no more George Floyd's, bro. We letting it be known. All that's gonna stop. And you could take this how you want to take it. I'm not threatening you. I'm telling you what the Lord is putting into effect. So what Donald Trump has just done is declare war on the children of Israel. We know that we're coming for crime. We know exactly who you coming for, man. Who you think you fooling? All the Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all you Nazis. We know what you're doing. So let's just lay it brass tacks out in the sand. And like Moses and all the other Christ and all the other great men of our nation who stood against the ruling empires of yesterday, we letting you know now. The Lions Den is only one voice and one faction, but we letting you know right now, let our people go. Let us go, so that we may serve our God. If you don't, all kinds of spiritual butt whoopings is coming your way. As a matter of fact, they already are on you. See, the Most High, the Lord God Almighty, He's tired of it now. He's tired of all the lies. He's tired of all the hypocrisy. He's tired of it now. Finally, He can't come fast enough, even if it means my having to die. He can't come fast enough for me. But enough is enough. And this is why we do this. That's why we do this broadcast. Because what we're not going to do is have so-called mainstream media, MEDIA, the most evil devil in America, continue to lie on us. So we bringing it to you straight, again, no chaser, no compromise. And you out there in the listening audience, you're free to get up off your duffs whenever we make our presentation and we bring our facts for you to check this out. See, what we're tired of and what we have to get down to the nitty-gritty on is that there are evil elements out here trying to bring us back to the days of when, we were on the plantation. Like right now, because of all these illegal immigrants being thrown out of America, you got a lot of white farmers who are now mad. They have the audacity to be mad that you have a lot of black folks who don't want to come work for them. Yo, check this out. Let me make this clear to you. You people are out of your mind. You want to talk about you have black fatigue? First off, that's another one of our slogans you took and stole. What's the word? You co-opted. That's the fancy way of saying you stole. You co-opted yet again one of our slogans. See, black fatigue was a term used by black folk to describe how they're tired of some of the ghetto of our people, some of the underbelly of our people who tend to, do things out here publicly, World Star and whatever else what TikTok doing embarrassing things. And here come you white folks, as always. You can't create anything of your own. You always got to co-opt and take what we make and then try to use it against us. And you're going to sit your behinds up here talking about you have black fatigue. You tired of us. Meanwhile, in the news, who's committing the most mass shootings? Non-stop, every week. You only want to talk about black folks in Chicago. But look what you're doing. From Target, literally Target. Okay? Best Buy, movie theaters, bars, churches, synagogue, wherever your ass at, y'all the main ones blasting out and there's an overused term now, crashing out and losing it. But you always trying to project on us and what we're doing. Yeah, we have our black folk, we have our issues. Yes, we do. But what we're tired of is y'all, along with the Asian community, along with all the Jewish community, and everybody else trying to pile up on us and point the finger at us like everything we do in this world makes the world wrong. Or everything you got going on wrong is because of us. Yeshua said it earlier, right? And it made me think about the fact that even in movies, when your white world go wrong, it's because of us. I think back to Terminator 2. Now here it is. We find out that the reason the T-800 and all the other Terminator models came about was because of an over-ambitious black scientist named Michael Dyson. Okay, played by veteran actor Joe Morton. But my point is, it was a black man that made it where Sarah Connor was being chased by killer cyborgs. A black man and his genius was the reason why the world was destroyed. Even in movies, it's our fault. Damn, we can't catch a break. That clarifies what comedian, one of the king of comedy, even though I do disagree with certain of his positions, but D.L. Hughley made a very, very, very powerful point some years ago when he said the most dangerous place for black folk to be is in the imaginations of bigoted white people. He ain't never lied. Now let me make this clear. This is not a show about ganging up on white people, but let me just make this clear. We are not going to ignore that as you are the ruling class currently of this world empire, all the policies being passed, all these other demonic policies, let me add, that are being passed are because of all of you in the ruling class. Now, for all you poor whites who are listening to this show, and you might feel some kind of way, you can call us every name in the book. But the one name you can't call us, nor anyone else, and you can't prove that we are, because we're not, liars. Liars. But see, what we're doing is giving you a taste of you reap what you sow, and what you sow, what you reap. Come on in, Yeshua. Go to work.
Another word that you can't never say we is a colonizer. Because definitely I know y'all have that on your history, colonizer. What land you haven't stolen and claimed for yourself? What people on earth have you not corrupted? You people have given people what? Christianity and white Jesus. I got white Jesus fatigue. Meaning basically I'm sick of that lying ass image. Because it's a lie. And I'm gonna say this to any white people listening to the audience. If you're not showing me anything in the scriptures, meaning the description of this man in the scriptures, I'm not going along with it. Because you have not shown us no scripture in the Bible that that man is the Jesus Christ. You fed that image to us when we was in captivity, right? Made us believe in a white image is a savior while you was hanging us on trees, raping our mamas, grandmamas, beating us to death. And you told us just believe in white Jesus and everything will be all right. That's my message to black people in this country. How you gonna believe in that image when that image alone is the image that destroyed our people in this country and in other places throughout the world? You know what I mean? See, this is what I'm saying. We need to really look at what the hell is going on this earth and make better damn decisions. You understand? We live in a society right now where you can't even train, you can't even discipline your children no more. That's why these damn kids is out here as wild as a bunch of animals, like they are. Because when I came up, maybe Karima also, and Malachi, our parents could lay it on us. We couldn't call the police. The neighbor might beat your behind. The teacher might beat you. And we were taught to respect our elders. That's something in this society now ain't taught. You know what I mean? See, America is falling like lightning. America's on a time clock. All the kingdoms of the world, they on a clock. God's clock. You understand? And as I see right now, what's going on, this is just an appetizer, man. He ain't really showed us really what he really gonna lay down. He just giving us a taste of what's happening. See, we see certain people, they got their own certain attributes. They talk about certain things, and if that's what you want to do, you're gonna do it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna let you know and forewarn you yo, this is what's happening here. You need to really check this out. You understand? You need to really look at this because it's going to affect you long down the line eventually. That's what you need to check out. So go ahead, man. I'll come back.
Hey, Seventh Answer, do you want to show a video? I see some do you want to show a video? I see something in the board. You want to show some videos or something? I believe so. So stand by, and I'm going to come back and we're going to acknowledge all y'all in the chat room.
What it has to say about the coming nukes. I wrote 2 passages of scripture down here on this piece of paper where I can read it. I can't read real small text, so I make it a little bigger, you see. Now, here is clear statements of coming nuclear destruction in northern Israel. And those of you young people right now, I don't doubt but what you'll live to see this. I'm 77, I think. I probably won't live to see it. I'll gather all nations against you. This is in Zechariah. I'll gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Now, there's a lot more passage, but I'm just reading part of it to you. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand up on their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouth. Now, this was written over 2.5 millennium ago. And it's describing a situation where before a soldier or a person can fall to the ground, their eyeballs completely burn out of their head and their tongue completely burns out of their mouth, all while they're standing on their feet. There's never been a time in the history of the world until the last 70 years that could take place, be 80 years. And now in Ezekiel chapter 39, it speaks of the same events again. He talks about coming destruction in northern Israel and the mountains there, coming down out of Lebanon. And he talks about an invading force of 5 nations along with Russia, names them. Those nations exist today. And he talks about the destruction will come on them. And he said it'll take 7 months for Israel to cleanse the land. It said after the end of 7 months shall they search for the bodies. Said they'll call out men of continual employment and they'll go out to cleanse the land. And he said they'll actually create a city called Hamanoth in that area. And that city will be used as a headquarters for cleaning up northern Israel. And he said, thus shall they cleanse the land. So there's going to be an invasion, an attempted invasion of Israel by the nations. And there's going to be a destruction that is going to burn the eyes, tongue, while they stand on their feet. So that day is coming. It's not going to be a total annihilation of the world or anything, but just write it down in your book, get batteries in your Geiger counter, and get ready, because when the Bible predicts it, it's going to happen. All right.
So it's insane that no one is talking about this, but the Sea of Galilee turned blood red yesterday. This is a picture of it behind me. Multiple people have seen it. Yes, it is confirmed. One article, this is CNN that reported it as well. This is August 4th, 2025. Like Pharaoh's plagues, the waters of the Sea of Galilee in Israel turn red. And we know everything that's going on in the Middle East right now, especially in Israel, is insane. And we have the Jerusalem Post talking about it as well. They say that the Sea of Galilee turns blood red due to algae and pigmentation. What I think a lot of people don't understand is it doesn't matter how it happens. It just matters that it happened. If you're in Christ, you should probably take this as a sign. Yes, it may not actually be blood, but it's a sign of what is to come. Now, I started using this Bible app called Haven, and it's kind of like a Chat GPT and the Bible YouVersion app got together and kind of had a child. And so I asked it, I said, hey, the Sea of Galilee turned red yesterday. And Haven responded and said, that sounds like a remarkable and unusual event. So it is unusual for this to happen. It says that I'm not sure what could have caused the Sea of Galilee to turn red, but it's definitely a striking phenomenon. As a child of God, it is natural to wonder if there's spiritual significance to this event. In Revelation 16:4, it says, the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and the fountains of the waters, and they became blood. This verse comes to mind when I hear about the Sea of Galilee turning red, although I'm not saying that this is direct fulfillment of that prophecy. It's also so cool because it says, what is going through your mind when you heard about this event? Did it make you think about any particular Bible verse or story? That is so cool to me. I'm just saying, with all the signs and wonders we are seeing across the world.
Authorities are investigating the alarming phenomenon of the Dead Sea's waters turning a deep red, with extensive marine life found deceased along its shores.
So we have the Dead Sea turning red, killing tons of marine life. So we can go ahead and count the algae out that the scientists are saying is causing the waters to turn red. And behind me, the Sea of Galilee turning red. Are you not seeing the signs that God is giving here? It's time to wake up. These are biblical signs. These are prophecies that have been spoken of.
Something massive is unfolding in the Middle East right now. And to my knowledge, this might be the only channel even talking about it. Syria just brought in a new leader. Egypt is already reacting to it. And Daniel chapter 11, a prophecy written over 2,500 years ago, appears to be coming to life verse by verse. This isn't symbolic fluff or guesswork. It's precise, it's literal, and it's happening right now. Syria has always been known as the kingdom of the north in Bible prophecy. Egypt, the king of the south. And Daniel 11 details a coming conflict between these two powers, a cunning leader who rises through deceit, a covenant that begins to be strengthened, and then a rapid sequence of global chaos, invasions, betrayals, and desecration. In the full video, we walk through every single verse from Daniel 11:20 to verse 45, and every single verse matches what's happening on the world stage and what's going to happen. A rising tyrant, the prince of the covenant broken, Israel caught in the crossfire, and the formation of the 10 kings from Revelation 7. Who do you believe the prince of the covenant is, or who are the 10 kings? And did you know that America or NATO is also mentioned in this sequence as well, just like the ram and goat battle from the book of Daniel? Don't wait though. Watch the full breakdown before this channel is taken down or silenced. This is urgent, and if this is
All right, we're back. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing is beyond all shadow of doubt biblical prophecy. But the Lord said he will make his enemy, he will make the enemy acknowledge his power. Notice they're not talking about the Quran. They're not talking about the Book of the Dead, the Kabbalah, nor any other book. They're saying biblical prophecy is now in effect because they've always known the Bible is the true source and the true light indeed. They understand. See, for all you poor whites out there listening to this show, and even among our people, listen. As your Shahidar just said a minute ago, look, all this wanting to be lied to, gotta stop. See, when you tune in here, we are unapologetically going to continue to bring you the Bible. We're not going to give you, unlike others, we won't give you a sermon. We're just going to break it down to you in all of its social, political climates and give you the full rundown on why it's happening. If you choose not to believe it, that's your right. That's your fate. But here we are now bringing tons of evidence, other voices who see the handwriting on the wall. This whole Euphrates River thing, Euphrates River, the Sea of the Dead Sea, the Sea of Galilee turning red, turning blood red, and killing marine life, killing fish. Go back to what was happening in Egypt when it was under judgment, the land of Mizraim. And when Moses, through the Lord's instruction, waved his hand over the rivers and turned the rivers and the other bodies of water blood red, it killed the fish. And there was a stink, they said, that went up in the land. See, now it's happening and they can't deny it. All right? As a matter of fact, there are certain things happening that didn't make that hasn't been making the news, that we're uncovering and unearthing for you. But please understand, to all our again, white listeners, we know you're listening. Please understand that these judgments are not coming down on you because your skin is so-called white. It's because your actions, your deeds from your forefathers to you now have not been right. And now the judgment is at hand. Your judgment is at hand. Y'all have done too much. Y'all have done way too much. You disregarded the laws and the commandments. You disregarded what the Bible said to do. You've put Satan as your God. You've passed policies just like the Bible said you would do. In the book of Daniel's, in the book of the Maccabees, in the Apocrypha, you've done everything just like the Bible said you would do. And though there's some of you out there that don't want to believe that these so-called white people are the children of Edom, they're doing everything Edom was prophesied to do. See, that is the key aspect of why we see them for who they are. They're not Japhet, they are Edom. Because what does the Bible prophesy they would do? They're doing it. If you don't want to, again, I know there's some of you out there, you will hold fast to your lies. That's fine. But our evidence that we're going to present, seventh answer she's going to present, shuts all that down. But like the old adage goes, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. So with that being said, let's take a little time out. Woo, we've 1 hour in already. So we're going to take a time out. Let's see who's talking, Yeshida. Seventh and let's see who's talking. So here we go. All right. We got Ramon Seifu. You said earlier on you had the 12 different tribes and the 12 different personalities. There are signs in the sky. You said there are signs in the sky. The Most High say don't worship the stars, but the stars are knowledgeable if you know how to read it. Absolutely. You say, Ramon Seifu, you said knowledge will be increased. He didn't just say good knowledge. And that's true. That's true. And I see you cooking with gas, though, and I acknowledge that. Now we have Dominique Liddell, family member. Peace, brother. Peace. How are you, Dominique? What's going on? And our other beautiful lioness, I am Manna. How are you, sister? How are you? And of course, I know this got to be. Christ wasn't in a camp. This got to be Mississippi. Brother Mississippi, family member, what's going on, brother? How are you? What's going on? Now you say in the blood and name of Yahweh Shah, Yahweh is salvation. But come on now, I know you, okay, there you go. Christ wasn't in the camp. There you go. I knew you were going to put down there somewhere that Mississippi is the land of salvation. It's fine, but welcome. All right? Okay, you say now. You got wicked. Now you say Mississippi that you got wicked blacks and whites. Watch the news. My sword headed to the land. Listen, whenever we come here in the lands, then we always acknowledge both the good and bad in our people as well. But what we're doing now is we are heralds announcing why white America and other factions of white people throughout the world are now getting hit. So we have to acknowledge that first. And it's because of our liberation, our restoration on this earth as the ruling power and class is now in effect. Let me see who else is talking. We have hold on, let me see. Afro-Asiatic. What's going on? Civil Liberties Defense, COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program, The Untold Story, The Untold American Story by T. Burgard. You give it a book title, okay. As of March 4th, 1968 memo from J. Edgar Hoover to FBI field officers laid out the goals. Yes, sir. You see, and you know what? Afro-Asiatic 19. This is the playbook that Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Bill Gates of hell, and all the rest of these Nazis are now trying to play from. The J. Edgar Hoover COINTELPRO counterintelligence program. Besides Adolf Hitler Schicklgruber, I see you up on it. That's a good reference. All right. Let me see. What else? Who else is talking? We have lawful hair. I would say it's the United States, not America, nor the republics. Okay, I get it. I get what you're saying, lawful hair. You're right. But we always use common names that people are familiar with to make it easy when we talk here. All right, smash an idol. Yahweh Akkad, Yasha'al, Shalom, Shalom to you too. Okay. Now this is where we'll disagree. You said, oh boy, Afro-Asiatic, oh boy, Bible and Quran obviously go together. Linguistically, geographically, and genetically. Yahweh is Allah and Allah is Yahweh. No, Allah is one of the attributes of the Most High. Allah meaning power. Okay? But his name is Yahweh. I am that I am. Allah-Yam in Hebrew is just one of his attributes. Okay, but the Quran has nothing to do with the Bible whatsoever. Afro-Asiatic. When you go to the book of Isaiah 34:16, it tells you succinctly and direct, seek ye out the book of the Lord and read. And what's the book of the Lord? The Bible. As Psalm 68:11 tells us, the Lord gave the word and great was the company of men who wrote it. Moses didn't write the Quran. All the prophets of Israel did not write the Quran. They only wrote the Bible. And with that being said, we thank you all out there in the chat. Continue to listen. Matter of fact, share this show. Okay, and we're gonna continue to keep the energy going. And Yeshaya died. It's on you. So what you gonna do?
That video with that man, the old white man, was talking about where the people's eyes were consuming their holes. If anybody ever saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, that's exactly what he was talking about. When that movie, you seen that movie, when they opened up the ark, all of them spirits came out. People were burning up, their flesh was coming off their body, their eyes was consuming in their holes. Remember that? Whoever saw that movie. But what we speaking on is what we seeing right now, man, is him just giving people a taste of what he really will bring to the table. Ain't nobody supposed to be overlooking none of these things, man. The Sea of Galilee turning red. I mean, the river Euphrates drying up. Those four fallen angels were put in there at the bottom, and they were chained up, and they've been there centuries. Now he's going to unleash them on this earth. He said when that water dried up, they're going to be released. You understand? So every day we see something connected to the scriptures every day, but a lot of people want to overlook it. You know, they want to keep, doing things that they do, and not seeing the prophecies because they're going to catch up to it, catch up to you. If you ain't watching and you ain't praying and seeking, you ain't gonna know what's going on. And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of people here. I'm gonna say something about this dude, Mississippi. You keep saying that Mississippi is the promised land, but Mississippi is the poorest state in America. Why Mississippi don't look like the land of milk and honey? Explain that to me. And since you claim to be some sort of Messiah or whatever, why you ain't make Mississippi look like the land of milk and honey all the years you've been born? Understand? If Mississippi is Israel, man, I ain't never going there. I'm not coming. Because there ain't nothing about Mississippi that turned me on to make me want to come down there. They below the poverty line in Mississippi right now. It's the poorest state in America. It's the poorest state in America, bro. West Virginia is behind it, number 2. Okay? So why does not Mississippi look like the land of milk and honey? That's my question. But I'm going to say this too. When you look at the policies that make America, nothing about the policies in America that makes America are of God. It's all man-made policy. They don't use the Bible to judge people when you go to court. They judge you out of their own penal code system, right? And things that they let happen in this country, a lot of people should be taken out for some of the things they let in this country go on. You know what I mean? They show you, I've seen videos where there was men in politics, men of great power in this country, worshiping the devil. And and I'm gonna say this too, to really make it in America to the highest level, you got to be a Mason. And if anybody know anything about the Masons, when you reach a certain level in the Masons, you have to say and acknowledge that Satan is the God you serve. That means anybody in this country or abroad that has any true power on earth, they got to acknowledge that being is their God that they serve, not the one in the Bible. Because they even got a Bible called the Satanic Bible. It was created by Anton LaVey back in 1966 when he created the Church of Satan in 1966. There's a Satanic Bible. So everything that's connected to America is corrupt. This whole system is corrupt. America seems that they just think that they can do what they please. There ain't gonna be no repercussions behind it, no payback. Whatever you do in the world, it will come back to you. You understand? See, America and the so-called Caucasian world, you done sown nothing but evil in this earth. You understand? Pure evil at its highest level. But a lot of you don't think that you ever gonna pay the price. You're gonna pay the price. You paying that. You getting a taste of what he really gonna bring on. Damn near all of Europe is on fire. Fire. France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Turkey, Greece, Albania, and other regions. Montenegro, which is Yugoslavia, all on fire. Ain't nobody setting that fire because there's no damn way in hell that fire could spread that far to that many different countries. There's no way. This is biblical, man. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of God's judgment that he's going to bring forth to the whole world. Are y'all looking at what Trump said, make America great? That's a slogan that he was using when he was running. Make America great. To any black man or woman in America that's of age, we ain't talking about a teenager, you know, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old. We talking about somebody 30s and up. And anybody that's of age, you know, like somebody that's 75, 80 years old, 90s, maybe 100. You can't tell me what year that you've been alive that you can understand things in your life when America was great. Because if anybody's old enough, say if your parents is in their 70s or so, some of you or 60s, let's go back to the 1960s. Or if they old enough to remember the 50s or the 40s. None of those time periods were great for our people. The 1930s wasn't great for black people. The 1920s wasn't great for black people. The 1910s wasn't great for black people. The 1900 wasn't great. The 1800s wasn't great. The 1700s wasn't great. The 1600s wasn't great. So I'm talking about us. So if he's saying, I'm going to make America great again, he ain't including you. You understand? America never compensated our people for nothing that our people did for. Nothing they gave our people but hardships and more pain, stacked upon more pain. That's all they done, man. They were supposed to give our peoples in the South 40 acres and 2 mules. They gave them nothing. And we still begging these people today to give us something. And they try to give you the excuse. Let bygones be bygones. Let's move on. Let's forget the past. Nah, ain't about no moving on. Because if that was the case, the Most High was going to move on and forget the past and forget all the evil deeds you have done. He wouldn't be bringing judgment to your door step right now. He ain't forgetting. He said in the Bible, the book itself, that he don't forget nothing. He don't forget. You understand? You think he gonna forget what y'all have done to his people? Yeah, he let you do it, but he's still gonna make you pay. You went too far with your punishment. Y'all have stolen an identity. You stolen a land that don't belong to you. You people have been given all the funds that we should have gotten. America gives Israel $6 to $7 billion a year for an event that never took place on American soil or even in that land at all. That so-called Holocaust they so-called scream about so much, that was in Germany, Poland, Auschwitz. That didn't happen in America. We talking about what you crackers did to us in America. But y'all take care of these fake ass people over there in the land of Israel. And the government we screaming and hollering about, you know damn well them people don't belong. But you part of the lie. You have to keep pushing the lie too. You understand? You know damn well them people ain't the people. You know where the people are at. You know the people of the Father is in America. South America, North America, Caribbean, even in Europe and other places. You know where they are. And that's why every time you keep delaying what you should be giving us, He gonna keep bringing forth more destruction to your door. And ain't nothing you can do about it. You can't do nothing about it. You don't got a man in Congress. You don't got a man in the Senate that can make America what it once was in its glory heydays. You got nobody. This man is a pure liar. He ain't making America nothing no more. Because the father himself and the son, man, they about to flush America down the toilet. America gonna be a distant memory, man, real soon. See, the Bible tells you as all these things are happening, what mindset you got to be in. That's why we got to start thinking better. Because so many things is happening right now, man. It's like it's boggling me. And this is just the beginning of this stuff, man. This ain't even the full array of what he really gonna bring to the table, man. This is just a taste. You understand? We got to come into the mindset of what should be important. What should we really be talking about? We should be trying to talk about, yo, man, let's fix ourselves instead of trying to fix everybody else. Let's worry about ourselves instead of worrying about everybody else. That's what we should be dealing with. You know what the nations got in common? All nations on earth got in common? That they hate us as a people. Everybody on the planet hate us. That's what they all got in common. Understand? So we need to really step up our knowledge game, our wisdom game, our understanding game. That's what we need to step up. So I'm gonna leave, give the floor to him. Go ahead, man.
I think Kareem has more videos. If so, seventh answer. I'm gonna come back in and land back up off the points you just laid. You shy down. I'm gonna talk to our brother, our dear brother Mississippi, when we come back. So play your videos. Seventh answer. You're now tuned into the Lions Den, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. It's all absolutely free. And take it away, seventh answer. It's on you.
As the final measure, the military shows the three stages. The economic hitmen fail there, the jackals fail there. As the final measure, the military goes out. It's a perfect example of the way the whole system works. So we economic hitmen are the first line of defense. We go in, we try to corrupt governments and get them to accept these huge loans, which we then use as leverage to basically own them. If we fail, as I failed in Panama with Omar Torrijos and in Ecuador with Jaime Roldos, men who refuse to be corrupted, then the second line of defense is we send in the jackals. And the jackals either overthrow governments or they assassinate. And once that happens, when a new government comes in, boy, it's going to toe the line because the new president knows what will happen if he doesn't. In the case of Iraq, both of those things failed. Economic hitmen were not able to get through to Saddam Hussein. We tried very hard. We tried to get him to accept a deal very similar to what the House of Saud had accepted in Saudi Arabia, but he wouldn't accept it. And so the jackals went in to take him out. They couldn't do it. His security was very good. After all, he had one time worked for the CIA. He'd been hired to assassinate a former president of Iraq. It failed, but he knew the system. Iraq shows the three stages. We economic hitmen. Principally, we identify a country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil, arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sisters. The money never actually goes to the country. It goes to our own corporations to build big infrastructure projects in that country that help a few very wealthy people, but don't benefit the majority of the people who are too poor to buy electricity or have cars to drive on the highways, and yet they're left holding a huge debt that they can't repay. So we go back at some point and say, you know, you can't pay your debts. Give us a pound of flesh, sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies, vote with us on the next critical UN vote, allow us to build a military base in your backyard, something along these lines. And when we fail, the jackals go in and either overthrow or assassinate these leaders. And if the jackals fail, as they did in Iraq, then we send in the military. I don't think the failure is capitalism. I think it's a specific kind of capitalism where we've created what I consider a mutant viral form of capitalism. And this mutant form of capitalism, which I think is really a predatory form of capitalism, has created an extremely unstable, unsustainable, unjust, and very, very dangerous world. We economic hitmen have managed to create the world's first. You know, I read just recently declassified information, this own website, where they admit that the US government was deeply involved in the overthrow or assassination of Prime Minister Mossadegh of Iran, President Allende of Chile, Arbenz of Guatemala, Diem of Vietnam, Lumumba of the Congo. And speaking of Allende of Chile, he was replaced by the terribly brutal dictator, General Pinochet, who was a great defender of Operation Condor and also oversaw the murder of tens of thousands of his people, and was praised by Secretary of State Henry Kissinger as a great defender of capitalism. I believe in national security, and I don't believe that US security is served. I believe it's jeopardized when our agencies overthrow or assassinate the leaders of other countries because they don't follow our policies. I stood in front of the Shah of Iran, the presidents of Indonesia, Ecuador, Panama, members of the Royal House of Saudi Arabia, and I've said something like, in this hand, I have millions of dollars for you and your friends if you play our game. In this hand, I have a gun in case you decide not to. Now, my words were more diplomatic than that, but that was the message. I was an economic hitman. We economic hitmen have created a new global economy, really, a form of capitalism that I call predatory capitalism. I would go to countries with resources our corporations covet, like oil. I'd arrange a huge loan to those countries from the World Bank or its sister organizations, but the money wouldn't actually go to the country. It would go to our corporations, Bechtel, Halliburton, Brown and Root, familiar names, to build big infrastructure projects in those countries and incidentally make huge profits in the process. They'd build power plants and industrial parks, things that would benefit a few wealthy families in the country, the ones that own the industries. But the majority of the people would suffer. They would be left holding a huge debt they couldn't repay. So we'd go back and say, since you can't pay your debt, sell your resource, oil or whatever, real cheap to our corporations. Privatize. Sell your utilities, your schools, your jails, everything like that to our corporations. My first assignment was in Indonesia, a country that had just ended a terrible civil war where more than 1 million people had been killed. It had a terrifying reputation. And I have to admit that when I arrived in Jakarta, knowing I'd be there for about 3 years, my knees were shaking pretty bad. My stomach was filled with fluttering butterflies. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I was a very young man. I just knew that I was expected to produce a report that would convince the Indonesian government to build an extremely expensive electrical system, hiring our corporations to do it. Claudine had made it sound simple, even kind of James Bondishly romantic. But now I'm struck by reality. And I felt naive, ill-prepared, vulnerable. Fortunately for me, the winner of the Civil War, President Suharto, who was actually a dictator, wanted the projects that I was offering. And he also wanted CIA and Pentagon protection. And so every time I stumbled, and I stumbled often, somebody was there to pick me up. A government official would appear with an incredible report that would indicate beyond any shadow of a doubt that electricity was all the country needed to take off to huge growth. A Harvard-trained mathematician showed up with a mathematical formula that proved that if they just built this electrical system, everything would be fine. A report that forecasts the need for electricity at an unheard of annual rate of 19%. Indonesia got its loan. Our corporations made lots of money. And I was promoted from economist to chief economist. It was quite a lesson. At that time, the Cold War was just really, really revving up. And Washington believed that Cuba was about to spread communism throughout the hemisphere. The CIA developed a program called Operation Condor to support right-wing dictatorships in Brazil, Argentina, Chile, throughout the continent. Jaime Roldos, president of Ecuador, democratically elected, and Omar Torrijos, head of state of Panama, strongly opposed Operation Condor. I was sent down to get them to change their ways. They wouldn't. They refused. Roldos was killed when his private plane crashed in what many believe was not an accident. Torrijos said, if CIA killed my friend Jaime, I'll probably be next. In less than 3 months, he died when his private plane crashed under very similar circumstances. You know, I read just recently declassified information, the CIA's own website, where they admit that the US government was deeply involved in the
Timing is everything.
So timing is everything. Let's get back on it. I see the videos and everything I got taken for granted. But yo, you know something? Earlier on, you raised a point about reparations, Yashada. See, understand, right? This country has refused to give us our rightful due. They were given a chance at mercy. See, in the book of Ezekiel 33 and 15, it tells you the Lord will have mercy on any nation if they return and restore all that they've stolen from those that they robbed. If the wicked will give the pledge, give back every piece of land that they've stolen, they will get mercy. But see, you know what? There are too many of these greedy, satanic, Masonic practitioners who are too far gone in their evil. So they don't want to repent. They don't want to give it up. All right? And so now, this is why you see all these different social and political and acts of nature, violence coming down. And the videos that Karima just showed you all, y'all, pay attention to the trembling and the fear in that one gentleman's voice when he was talking about how he has dealt with personal knowledge of knowing the American government via the counterintelligence program. COINTELPRO has murdered and assassinated leaders who didn't want to get down with the program they were laying out. See, everything that we're saying here on this show, we're not making this up. What we are students of history. What we are following is the Most High directive and the Most High God directive in Deuteronomy 32 and 8. 7, to remember the days of old and to consider the many years that have gone by. Don't forget the past. See, we're not forgetting the past. This is the world that we've inherited, so it's our responsibility to overturn every stone, every lie, every creep, every kind of misinformation, disinformation, just bald-faced lies, and destroy them and crush them in the foot. That's what we're supposed to do now. That's our responsibility. And we're going to do that. And that's why you're tuned in. Now, To brother Mississippi, I know you may have felt some kind of way when we talked about Mississippi and all that, but like I said, being not being the promised land, but we don't make this stuff up, my dear brother. Like I said, we're not making this up, and we appreciate your dedication to still being here and all that. But we got to take a look at what's going on in Mississippi then and now. I mean, let's not forget, brother, that it was Brett Favre a few years ago, all right, along with his bosses, who ripped off $77 million in EBT food stamp monies from the system of Mississippi. So as Yeshua said, Mississippi being one of the poorest states, that's why when you have your leadership robbing you blind, or ex-football players being allowed to rob the state blind. Then let's not forget that Mississippi, a super state where it's majority black people, but yet just a few short years ago, you had the supermajority of the House of Representatives of Mississippi, brother Mississippi. They created the new Jim Crow bill, HB 1020. Have you forgotten that, brother? This means, that when they pass those new Jim Crow laws in Mississippi, brother, it was the beginning of gunning for separate courts, separate schools, the entire gamut of everything separate for whites and blacks when they passed that bill. Also, brother Mississippi, we want you to consider this, what's going on in your home state. All right? Let's not forget that Jackson, Mississippi still has in 2025 contaminated water, my brother. Huh? Let's think about that for a second. And not only that, brother, let's not forget the murders that have been transpiring of black people in Mississippi, my friend. Huh? In March 2023, you had Raheem Carter. Remember him, brother? He called his mother talking about he was at a police precinct, but they told him to leave. And he called his mother saying he was being stalked by some white men in pickup trucks. And the next time Raheem Carter would be seen, his head was cut off, his spinal column ripped out in Mississippi after he was told by the police he couldn't stay at the precinct and wait for his mother. And in June of 2017, you had Jeremy Jerome Jackson, 30 years old, head cut off and body burned and found separate, and his body was found in separate locations. This is what's going on in Mississippi. Then you have Philip Carroll. I'm taking you back to a previous show I did on Mississippi and what was going on. So I'm bringing up the facts, showing you why we don't believe Mississippi is the promised land, my dear brother. You have Philip Carroll, 22 years old, body found hanging from a tree in Jackson, Mississippi. His death was ruled as a suicide, but his hands were tied behind his back. See, we don't just make things up. We go and do our digging in the crates, my brother. All right? You have to explain to me, brother Mississippi, that right now as we speak, there are still 30 other cases of black men and women, their bodies found with their heads cut off. Some of them, their spinal column ripped out as well. Unsolved, brother. Unsolved. Okay? So we can't believe that Mississippi is the promised land when you have cases like in February of 2018, you had William Willis Andrew Jones Jr., who was found hanging, brother Mississippi, found hanging from a pecan tree in the yard of his child's mother, Alexis Rankin, okay, a white woman. His feet were touching the ground as he was hanging with a belt, okay, a belt wrapped around his neck and a yellow nylon cord attached to the belt buckle. And guess what they said he did? He committed suicide. He hanged himself with his feet touching the ground. In Mississippi, my brother. So when we say we can't buy that Mississippi is the promised land, not with all this blood. Come on now, we're gonna take you back. January 2004. You had Terrence Williams, who was found dead, and he was last seen in the company of a Mississippi police officer named Stephen Kukin. Okay? And also the same corrupt Mississippi police officer, Steve Culkin, is also believed to be the killer of, in October 2003, of Felipe Santos. Okay? See, what we are showing you, brother Mississippi, is that, your state, your land can't be the promised land. Not with all that blood it got on it. But now, on that note, right, let's go to a story. Okay,
but I wouldn't put
come
it
on, Seventh.
past the fact that it's somewhere, because we know that we got a lot of trying to do, and we go off of Deuteronomy. We know that this was the last place. We know that, in a Bible, this plays a significant role, which, America. We know that for a fact. So I don't believe that any other place that, would be considered a promise. I believe that the lie, just like the map and everything, is all twisted around. And I believe that this place have a big role into the biblical narrative, just like he said. And if you go think about it, just instead of just brushing off his thoughts and thinking because he's talking, there's a lot of history into his narrative. Me, I like to go do everybody's narrative to see. I don't just brush it off. And I could pull up videos of his narrative. There's brothers that's actually doing research and study and talking about, the mounts and, the river and the Mississippi River, saying it's one of the biggest river. A lot of things that they talk about, So I don't brush past his thoughts, because there's a lot of brothers that do a lot of research into this. A lot of people that's pointing towards America being the promised land, period. And they actually got videos and resources and sources that can back it up more than what he's saying. So I don't push past what he's saying.
Okay, Seventh Answer. That's a very interesting counterpoint. And see, now you're making me aware of something that I've been unaware of. Okay. And so I want to say, forgive my ignorance. Okay. And I thank you for filling me in. Okay. Now this is something that I'm going to take time out to recalibrate my thinking.
I'm going to bring a little, while you talking, I'm going to pull up some videos that I've already seen, and there's brothers that's actually doing the footwork and doing the groundwork on this research. So I'm gonna bring it. Just give me a minute. But go ahead.
Okay, sure, seventh answer. I have no problem. Now see how you see how we do? We told you. We're the home of point counterpoint. All right, and it's each one teach one, reach one. So I thank you for that. But yo, while she's pulling that up, there is some other stories I want to go into now. Hey yo, let's talk about all the missing black truck drivers. For all my brothers and sisters out there in the trucking industry, listen. We here on the Lions Den, we're going to give you a public service announcement. Get your power tool. Get your gun licenses. Get whatever you need. Because see, I don't know why this is not making national news. Then again, wait, what am I saying? I know why it's not making national news. But there are a slew of black truck drivers that are now missing in this country, coming from states of Mississippi, New York, New Jersey, Colorado, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Now, it's so many, but I'm going to run off some names, okay? We're talking about right now, as of July 2025, you have Eric Darnell, 38 years old, who's missing. He was last seen on his route through Arizona, on his way to Pennsylvania, and he disappeared. We still have the case of Javion McGee, who in 2024, 21 years of age, who was found lynched in Henderson, North Carolina. But of course, the police ruled Javion McGee's his lynching or his hanging as a suicide. You know, if you recall, Mr. Javion McGee left out of his home state of Chicago, Illinois, on his route, and according to the official investigators, Mr. Javion McGee left Chicago, traveled all the way to Henderson, North Carolina, made a stopover at, let's say, Target or Target, or one of them other, convenience stores, bought some rope and twine, tied his hands behind his back, that's right, and somehow hanged himself, y'all. He decided to commit suicide. He decided to leave Chicago and travel all the way to Henderson, North Carolina to kill himself, all right, with his hands tied behind his back. Then in 2023, we still have the unsolved case of Mr. Jamal Williams, 23 years of age. 2022, Darnell Smith, still missing, 32 years of age. You have the case of Dimitri R. Williams, 2020. He's been missing for 4 years. We have Jamarcus McCoy in 2023 who went missing. Tyrone Smith, 2022, missing. Marcus Johnson, missing since 2023. Tyrone L. Johnson, out of Brooklyn, New York, okay, missing since 2022. Javon D. Smith, he was a truck out of Bronx, New York, missing since 2023. That's just to name a few. We have to ask ourselves, what is going on in this country? See, the thought that comes to mind is quite obvious to me what is indeed happening, that you have black truckers missing, but not just black truckers, a slew of young black men and women missing in this country. And it's not making the news. But all you truckers out there, male and female, why are you coming up missing? Huh? We have to really ask ourselves, what kind of force and evil entities that are out here killing black truckers, Make no mistakes. This is not just something that's happening in a vacuum, y'all. We have to take, as Yeshaya said earlier, we really need to start taking stronger inventory and accountancy of our well-being. See, it's not no one else's responsibility to mount a defense mechanism against all these things but us. Of course, it's all about returning to our God. It's all about putting everything in proper perspective and getting on code. As Yeshua said, you have all these other nations. The one thing they have strong in their court is being against us. See, it was a beautiful thing to see 10 million black folk walk away from the Democratic Party. An estimated 10 million, that is. And be careful. Then it was a beautiful thing to see now a host of black folk now delineating, walking away from other people's problems, not defending them because we're going to defend our own first. Because see, when you have issues like black truckers, professional drivers, leaving their homes and their families in one piece and being found or not found right now. Most of the people that are named, Javion McGee being have not been found. There's a problem going on in this country that we have to pay attention to. And this is why, I'm going to say again, this is why the Lord is now mounting an attack and a defense against these evil works. We're not going to pretend that the Ku Klux Klan, disguised as law enforcement, are highway pirates and most likely behind these killings. Did anyone see the video of the young man who was recently in North Carolina trying to deliver mulch? And you see a whole bunch of white men cursing him out, attacking him because he got there early. Did anyone see that video? And these same people, the so-called sheriff was even involved. Okay. And they use cranes and other equipment to tip over his truck and to injure the man's dog. And that was a black trucker. So this is what it's coming to. For all my professionals out there, all you black truck company owners, get your people armed under the law. Get your defense mechanism in play because there are certain elements out here not playing. Also, we have to take a look at another story that's become breaking news, and the mainstream media let it slip out, but they ain't been talking about it ever since. How all of a sudden, since this DEI, that's right, that your president and all these other racist skunks put into effect, an estimated 300,000 black women have lost their jobs. See, in the Bible, I forget where it's at in the scriptures, it said that woe to the daughters of Zion who are at ease. For what will you do when the Lord brings judgment on you? See, to our sisters out there, if you're listening and you are part of that laid off class, if you listen and listen to me good, understand that I'm not here gloating because of you losing your job. But what I am doing is now bringing home to all my city girl attitude having sisters out there that these people don't care about you. See, the United States government used you sisters, you black women out there, under the COINTELPRO. That's why I'm going to keep hammering home J. Edgar Hoover, the counterintelligence program, along with former President George Herbert Walker Bush, who was the head of the CIA at one time. That's right. This whole putting you black women in certain job positions and better financial station was only you're being weaponized against us. See, when you had Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, when you had Sister Shahrazad Ali, when you had other black women that were on point warning you that you were being used, a great many of you didn't listen. 300,000 black women, no, let me see, the media said have left the workforce. They didn't leave. They didn't leave the workforce. They got fired. That's why I said one thing about mainstream media, sometimes they slip up. They always let the truth come out at one point, but then they catch themselves when they when they realize people like myself and Yeshai Dog, the seventh answer, and other voices I hear, we catch them. But I want y'all to take under careful consideration that 300,000 black women, after this DEI was put into effect, or anti-DEI policies were put into effect, have lost their job. 300,000 people. That's the population of certain towns, yo. But this is what's happening now. As another voice out here in this great social media platform spectrum, Professor Black Truth, he calls himself. He coined a very powerful phrase. Once white America finishes using its black tools, they break them. They break them. And this goes for all you others of our people who like to be cooned out. You want to be raccooned out and act. Your time is now up too. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna have the seventh answer run this video, and we're gonna continue to talk about some other pressing issues. But I just want to get those two stories out there. So seventh answer, take it away. Okay, while she's getting it ready, or when she's ready to take it away, Yeshida, you got anything on your mind, brother? If you're still at the helm.
Yeah, I'm there. It's like I say here, man. Like with Mississippi, look, man.
The Red River in Oast rivers, their remnants. The Mississippi, that's the true Nile, called Father of Waters. Just like in ancient Kemet, they changed the names to erase. River is a living scroll. Promised land across the sea. But baby, it's been under your feet the whole time. The Red River in Ohio, the Yahar in Wisconsin. Those ain't just rivers, they're remnants. The Mississippi, that's the true Nile, called Father of Waters. Just like in ancient Kemet, they changed the names to erase the codes, but the water still remembers. Every river is a living scroll, flowing with prophecy. The Ohio, the Kanawha, the Susquehanna, all forming a divine boundary of the chosen. If America is Egypt, then these rivers are the arteries of the Exodus. Screenshot this map.
Iraq shows the three stages.
You're a loser, if I stay here 60 years and then I lose my place for two.
I think this map really describes well why there's so many people that invaded or quote unquote America. Ham, Shem, Japheth. Not many names you hear in a Christian denomination or in the Truth or Catholic denomination or any denominations. You don't really hear these names a lot because when you read them, they were given plots of land after the flood so they wouldn't fight with each other and they were told not to invade each other's lands. The reason why nobody likes to talk about them is because two of these people have worked together to get rid of one of them, or tried to get rid of one of them, because one of them is the prosperity, or one of them is the forefathers of the Israelites, the Hebrews, chosen people. The other two are not. They're still celestial. They're still, in a way, celestial, which they need to recognize that they still have their own power and they still have their own birthrights in a way. But don't be upset because the one in the middle was given the best lands. And we know that you invaded them. So, this country right here, the promised land, the United States, the Turtle Island, the real chosen land, was invaded. All of Shem's or Israelites' lands were invaded by his enemies, by Gentiles. What lands have you looked historically have always been popping, have always been it places, have always had people looking to invade it, where the most wars have come? And what lands on this map have always been questioned the original people of? Are you really the original people over here in Egypt? Are the people that say they're Egyptian today really the original Egyptians? Are the people in the United States that call themselves Indians or Americans or Turtle Islanders, are they really the original people? Are they invaders that have worked all together to get rid of every piece of history that was put in this middle section of land and steal their identity, as was prophesied Japheth would be dwelling in the tents. It says that the spirit of Spanish enterprise in America is expressed in the following address of Dr. Pedro de Santander, to the king in 1557 of the expedition of De Soto. Now get this, who he says he found over here in the Americas, and what the leading over him to take these lands from that were being handed over spiritually to another group of people. It is lawful that your majesty, like a good shepherd appointed by the hand of the eternal Father, should tend and lead out your sheep, since the Holy Spirit has shown spreading pastures wherein about when he came over here in his expedition of Americas. He's calling in people here lost sheep, lost tribes of Israel, really, which have been snatched away by the dragon, the demon. These pastures are the new world, wherein is comprised Florida, now in possession of the demon. And here he makes himself adorned and reverend. This is the land of promise possessed by idolaters, the Amorite, the Amalekite, the Moabite, the Canaanite. Two of those are most definitely Negro, especially the Canaanite. That is Hamite. That is from the progenitor of Ham. You go back to the map,
He was
Okay,
about to
you know
get deep.
what? Wow, Karima. And this is what I'm gonna say. I want to thank you, Seventh Answer, for now bringing some clarity. And like I said, assuaging my ignorance as to where Brother Mississippi was coming from. See, I had no idea that that's the context in the information that's out there. And what I'd like for you to do when you get a chance is send me that, send me those videos and everything else, because this is the first time I'm actually hearing it. Okay, like I said, this is the home of also point counterpoint, and I thank you for lending you the weight of your stateswomanship to make me see where the brother's coming from. Now I get it now. I get it, and I would like to delve into it further. But now, before uh, you had the floor, you shy dog. Make your points. And what I want to do is I want to go back out into the audience. 'Cause I see Sakina Ra. I see you, sister. I see you thinking.
Just go ahead.
So you shy dog. Go ahead. Go ahead. You got another video, Karima? If so, if not, I want to go back out into the chat room and see who's talking. But I want to chime in on Sakina Ra, who caught my eye, if you don't mind. So now, another commercial break, another 1 hour. Boy, time is flying when you're having a good time. But wait. Okay, seventh answer, you're killing me softly. Do you want to show this video? If so, I'll mute up and take it away, okay?
What you call it the Yucatan and the border of Guatemala, the Petén region, they call it, all this unexplored area.
We know the truth now here. This is a newspaper clipping from 1880 from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Let's get into it. Unravel the mysteries surrounding the mound builders of America, the lost tribes of the children of Israel, and to shed light on ancient Egyptian history. Let's keep going. Let's see what he found. Stud the walls and the image of glare that is positively dazzling. A throne of beaten gold inlaid with diamonds, pearls, and precious stones overhung with the golden canopy, and a footstool in the same precious metal with diamonds as large as walnuts at each of the four corners, silver chests filled with rolls of papyrus written in Egyptian hieroglyphics and Hebrew characters, others of gold filled with the precious stones. 8 pillars, 4 on each side of the throne, support 2 slabs of gold, each 2 inches thick, 3 feet wide, and 6 feet long, upon which stand 2 golden Egyptian winged bulls. Let's keep going. Now, as you can see, Fort Smith, Arkansas, 1880. I have discovered the treasure house of the mound builders, and its riches are greater than I ever deemed they could be. Let's keep going. I have visited the hidden chamber, which is literally ablaze with diamonds, passing between the 2 winged bulls, the sacred idols of Egyptians. I have stood in the presence of a mummy seated on a gold throne, a throne beaten with gold that was perhaps the king or god of the mound builders. Let's keep going. Now, doing my research, I could only find one mound in the Fort Smith, Arkansas area, and it's on land with the church. You see this, right? With a church, 30 feet tall, knocked down. But check this out. There is a tunnel in that area, and they made it a storage room, people. This is an ancient mound behind a church that they found a mound builder king in this mound. We know the truth now.
You might as well stop at them over there. What?
We know the truth now here. This.
Yeah. I also want to know something else I was thinking about. It was like saying that it's the black folks that's the aggressive ones, that's the criminals, it's the Mexicans that's the.
You might as well stop at them over there. What? Oh, these.
Was Akhenaten Anunnaki? Now that's a great question.
These people lived in daub and wattle houses on top of the principal people did, the priest and the royalty.
You heard them, the royalty. Let's keep going.
They lived in very substantial houses, not teepees, not teepees. Teepees, Western Plains people.
They lived in houses, not teepees, like the Western Plains Indians.
Down here, they lived in houses. They were sedentary. They were farmers. They used the rivers and the bayous and the streams as not only for commerce, but for sustenance as well.
With the Mississippi and other major rivers as its highways, Cahokia was linked by trade to a third of the continent. Copper arrived from the Great Lakes, obsidian from Yellowstone, mica and crystal from the Appalachians, gold and silver from Canada, shell from the Gulf of Mexico.
Look at these old live oak trees that have seen so much pass by them. Magnificently dressed Indian people coming down that bayou in a dugout, greeting people, standing right here on this bank, of having a good time, because they did. You know, Indian people have always known how to have a good time. And there would be a feast prepared. And the women would put the corn together. They'd make sofki. They would roast a deer. The people would bring gifts. You never go to an Indian's house without bringing something. That's as old as the sunrise.
We know the truth now here. I got a lot of indigenous.
Man, get in here. Get in here. Get in here. Hey.
Basically, what we're experiencing right now is
This is a real hidden artifact from the Mississippian culture. Look at the way his body is posed. I'm pretty sure you guys saw that pose before, but let's keep going.
All we know about these early Americans comes from the evidence buried in their mounds. You're hiking in the woods, and suddenly, there up ahead, you see a mound rising up from the flat countryside. You recognize it immediately as one of the more than 100,000 Indian mounds found throughout the Mississippi Valley and the Great Lakes areas. No one knew for sure who the mound builders were until archaeologists went inside. They found rooms that were obviously burial chambers.
What other culture had burial chambers with their personal items and weapons? Let's keep going.
For whom? Skilled traders, for one thing.
Who else was skilled traders who traded exotic goods on the Nile River? Let's keep going.
They found grizzly bear teeth from the Rockies, conch shells from Florida, hammered copper from Lake Superior, obsidian from Yellowstone.
What other culture used obsidian in the burial process?
And mica from the southern Appalachian Mountains.
What other culture mined and used mica? You see where I'm going with this? We know the truth now. This is a real hidden. We know the truth now here. This is an artifact found in the mounds in Ohio. Let's keep going. Now, let's zoom in. As you can see on the death mask, it has the beard, just like the Egyptians have on their death mask. Now, let's break down the symbolism. Do you see the Z with the two dots on each side of the Z? Let's keep going. Now, the two dots on both sides of the Z represent the winter and summer solstice. And the Z rod signifies the fall and spring equinoxes. depicting the sun cycle. The Z rod represents corn or stalks, reflecting agriculture importance or the wealth gained from possessing grain. The Z rod is connected to astronomical observations, particularly the equinoxes, and may also represent the concepts like fertility, power, or lineage. And that same depiction of a Z-rod is found all over the world around mounds. This shows our ancient culture moving around the world. Then the symbolism gets jacked or culturally assimilated by a whole nother people.
Got any more videos to play?
No, that's it.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead, man. So yeah, we've been on for a little more than 2 hours, about 12 minutes. I'm gonna ask Malachi he want to keep going on because if we do, I'm gonna check out.
Yeah, I'm here. I just want to make sure.
But I'm gonna check out soon.
All right, but I'm gonna keep the energy going because Karima, wow, like I said, I had no idea. So you got to send all that to me. Now I have a new area of study I got to check out. But as I was saying previously, let's go into the chat room, y'all. Cause see, we raised some points. Let's see who's talking, and we're gonna come another commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lions Den. This is the conversation continues talking about what's on your mind, and we want to let you know that this hitting of the like and of the subscribe button is absolutely free. And if you're new here, join the family. Join us, okay? Because again, here on the Lions Den, not only do you get the conversation continues, you have the debate league, you have other varieties of programs and discussions that transpire. So if you want a variety pack of nonstop, hard-hitting, in-your-face facts, whatever floats your boat, the Lions Den is where it's at. One of the hottest social media platforms going on. But now let's go back into the comment section. I raised the issue about black truckers missing in this country. And it was Sakina Ra who raised a very interesting point when she said melatonin and organs, the melatonin and organ black market, okay? We have always been a product of America called cargo. All right, you know something? Sakina Rod, has been a lot of different documentaries talking about the importance of melanin. There have been, white scientists talking about black folks' melanin, how precious it is, how it's sometimes needed and used. So all these black truck drivers could indeed be, Sakina Ra, victims of, wow. That is something to consider. They could indeed be victims of the black market because there have been non-black truck drivers who've been found dead and either lynched or hanged. Well, hanged, that is, same thing. And it's quite scary. Okay? Let me see. And based on the videos that Karima just showed, you said, Sakina, right? Everyone in the Americas were indigenous to it. It's just who came first. All right, and you know what? Thank you, Sakina Ra. When you say it's always a great conversation when I come to the line, thank you, brother. Oh, wait. I mean, be careful. I don't want to misgender nobody and get the rocks people elbow. Sakina, okay, thank you, Sakina Ra. Overall, thank you for that. You're right. It's always a great conversation in the Lions Den. We always talking. Now, Afro-Asiatic, you said, let me see. Oh, you're giving reference to book titles. That's fine. All right. Let me see what Ramon Seifu. When you are racist, you will vote against your own common needs. Boom! Now, that goes back on the issue. I want to raise that point, Ramon Seifu, and you beat me to it. Let's go. I'm going to go back talking about the issue of reparations and all these poor whites. See, for all you poor whites watching the program and enjoying it on the low, this is why you're poor. This is why you're coming up short. See, in your greed and not wanting to see black folks get in on the free health care and all the free monies that you're getting, you so greedy and so intent on keeping us from having our fair share, you voted down our interest, which was also voting against your own. And that's why you're getting caught in the dragnet. Your racism has cost you. That DEI is also kicking a lot of you white women in the butt too. That's right. See, you are more the principal target, white women,
Yeah,
of
that's
this
a
DEI assault. Say again, seventh answer, what happened? Let me mute my mic.
that's a sister. That ain't a brother. That's a sister.
Okay, thank you for
That was
correcting
a
me. I
sister.
want to.
That's not a brother.
Okay, all
Yeah, but
right,
I'm gonna
thank
play this
you.
video.
I go to work, seventh answer. Go to work.
Yeah, let me play this video because it's dealing with your conversation.
Everybody, anybody. I'm in Clyde, North Carolina, and they try to kill me, y'all. They try to kill me. I'm in Clyde, North Carolina. They try to kill me. They tried to kill me. I'm in Clyde, North Carolina. Okay? They're on Clyde, North Carolina. They tried to kill me at the landfill. They tried to kill me at the landfill at Clyde, North Carolina. They just tried to kill me at the landfill in Clyde, North Carolina. Everybody, they just tried to kill me at the landfill in Clyde, North Carolina, because they said that I had a phone and the phone was being tracked and that I had it. Everybody.
Yeah, thank you. See?
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm leaving now. Give me the fucking phone. Let's go, bitch. Let's go. Get the fucking truck. Yeah. Don't get out of the truck no more. Don't get out of the truck no more. Take you out short. The sheriff's department's coming to get rid of you and your fucking mud. Okay. So stay in your truck. Yes, sir. Before something bad happens. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do it now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm saying, shut your door, shut your mouth. You're the sheriff? You're the sheriff, right? Yes.
And you weren't trying to talk to me. Can I join the window down?
I'm done talking with you. Shut the door.
Can I draw the window down?
No, roll the other window down.
Hey, sir, you slammed the door on my dog. And that's all I'm recording.
I'm going to put you in
That's
jail.
That's all I'm recording for slamming on the door.
I didn't slam it on the door.
Yes, you did. Have it
You
on
had a
recording.
Get in the door.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all going to jail. Y'all going down. This town going down. Yeah, this town going down. Man. Hello? 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 Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Okay, we're back. And yes, thank you, Seventh Answer. You went and found. Thank you for finding the video. Later, now you see why we do what we do, and you see why we're saying what we're saying. Do you see the hate? Them hillbillies down there, them good old boys. And you got some people that want to come in talking about we shouldn't be blaming white people for anything. You see the hate? That man was sent there to deliver mulch, wood, by his company that he worked for. And this is the reception he gets by them redneck, racist skunks. You see the hate? The so-called sheriff slammed the door on the man's dog. But do you see, in 2025, the climate of hate that's out here? Do you see why we come here and we lay down the facts, configurations, and we go ahead and do our research? Because this is what we're up against. So you want to know why you having floods go throughout the North Carolina and Texas and all these other hit towns? Because you got these Klansmen, Posse Comitatus, and other so-called white supremacist groups. This is what you are dealing with. You see why black truckers are missing? Because they're being sent out here and they are thinking they just doing their job and it's live and let live. And this is what you got going on. As you can see, they used equipment to turn that man's truck over. And this is why when we come here, and some of y'all might get bent out of shape when we talk about that America's under divine judgment. This is why though. See, these are the demons walking with earthly feet we talking about. And to Sakina Rock, I apologize for misgendering you, okay? My bad. I got corrected, but yo, is he stuck? Yes, he was stuck, Sakina. They turned his truck over. They used some bulldozers to turn the rig over. He couldn't go nowhere. He was out there unarmed. Whether or not he survived or made it out, that remains to be seen. But the bottom line is, this is why I said earlier on, for all you black truckers out there, you black truck company owners, do your research on when you send your truckers out here on the road. You all now start, as you shout out, so you got to start networking now. Get your CBs, whatever you got going on your trend. I don't know what they're using these days, but do whatever it takes Get a communication network going on. But most importantly, get your tools and artillery in effect to defend yourself against that. A so-called law sheriff was out there, and he was on the side of the redneck hucksters. Now, Harris, let me see. We have Harris Duncan who says, it always gets terrible under Trump, bro. He gives him the green light. But it's not just, but Mr. Duncan, it ain't just Donald Trump. The Democrats too. And the Democrats are worse than the Republicans. At least with the Republicans, you know what you're dealing with. With the Democrats, they slick with it. Well, they used to be. But now they just is open with it as well. But I get your point. So that's right. You know what? Christ wasn't in the camp. That's Mississippi. You're right. Send the storms. Send the earthquakes and plagues. Because we need this judgment needs to go down quick, fast, and in a hurry. We got T-Miles 15. No, you know what, T-Miles 15? We have been under a curse for a hot minute. But now that curse we've served our time. We're gradually getting out on parole, and we're going to absolutely be liberated. This is why the shift in the pendulum in the world is changing now. This is why these white folks, most of them are losing their minds now. Because they're scared, but they got a good reason to be scared. Because they got a lot to pay for. But when you see them committing acts like this, there is no mercy for them. There'll be no mercy for them. And all you poor whites out here, your greed, voting down reparations and voting down all that we needed to get in healthcare because you want it only for yourself. Now look at you. As I said earlier, this DEI is also being targeted for you white women out here too. See, if you don't believe me, check out the stats. You're also being fired because see, you've been at war with your white man for the longest. But see, a lot of white men think that you white women got too much liberty. And they mad at the fact that a lot of you out there chasing black men with your high-paying jobs and your careers. They mad at that. They mad that you don't want them and you want to have black men's children. But guess what, y'all? That was a prophecy in the book of Isaiah 14:1. It was saying that when we would start coming back into our power, the Most High would start returning us back to our original state, that all other nations would start wanting to cling to us. See, there's a reason why, as long as a black man or woman, if they're claiming to be Kemet, if they're claiming to be Islam, if they're claiming to be Buddha, Christian, in all of his denominations, they don't care. They don't mind. But as soon as you claim to be an Israelite, as soon as you claim to be a Jew, an ethnic Jew, they lose their minds.
But all them other doctrines, they consider
Come on, Yahweh. Go to work.
With all them other doctrines, they consider you still asleep, posing no threat to them. This poses a threat because they know that this is true. They know who they got in this country. They know who we are scattered abroad. They know. They got all the records. It's up to you to come out of that sleep or remain in it.
Exactly. Now let me go back. Now let me go back to the comment section. Like I said, we like to some of y'all giving me food. Hey yo, Christ was Mississippi, brother Mississippi. You know something? Now, once again, history is in the making. I have to agree with you, brother. When you said Barack Obama was the worst president ever, I agree. I agree with you. Because see, The Democrats were able to use him as the black Trojan horse to pass the very policies that we see in effect right now. Have any of you still taken time out to go and check out the National Authorization Defense, the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act? Have y'all checked that out? Have you ever taken time out to look up DECEIVE, the Defense Enhancement Security Act, the Lone Wolf Terrorist Bill? These are all bills that the Democrats used Barack Obama when he had that juice at one time to pass that other white presidents couldn't pass. And yes, Barack Obama sold out Black America as a whole, because here it was, he could have given us reparations and he refused to do it. He could have, and he chose not to. Therefore, setting the stage for every other white president coming forth and say, look, you had your man, your black dude up in there, and he ain't do jack for you. So if he ain't do it and you didn't make him do it, what make you think we gonna do it? You right. Man, oh man, oh man. Let me see. Harris Duncan says, but at least we still had our civil rights and jobs under Democratic control, sir. Do you really believe that, Mr. Duncan? I disagree with you on that. Civil rights, first off, let's not forget that Martin Luther King was murdered. Malcolm X was murdered. Other members of the Black Panther Party were cut down and shot down. Let's not forget Medgar Evers was murdered. You had other people from SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, who were murdered. So how can we have civil rights when we never recognize with human rights, as Malcolm X said? I mean, after all, here we are now in 2025, right? And the Democrats, when we had Joe Biden, I'm not gonna count our girl Kamala Harris. Joe Biden, which was Barack Obama's third administration as a president, when we watched him give $2 billion to Ukraine, $91 billion to Taiwan, no, $94 billion to be divided between Israel and Taiwan. He then gave another $500 billion to all these illegal immigrants when they were bringing them in here by the boat, truck, plane, load. All that money, that was our reparations right there. So Democrats have never been on our side, Mr. Duncan. I respectfully disagree with you on that. We didn't have civil rights because here it was in the time when the Civil Rights Bill was being pushed. They were murdering Patrice Lumumba, Jomo Kenyatta, Kwame Nkrumah, then John Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and so many others. Civil rights? There was nothing. There's never been anything civil about America. Straight up. And everything they gave, they've taken it right back. Systematically. The Democrats took it right back, sir. And they're supposed to be black folk friend. Like I said, all those billions of dollars that we watched Joe Biden give away to everybody but us. He had an anti-Asian crime bill given to them, but we the ones who need it. When it's shown still today, statistically, that we are still subject to every kind of racial attack, but Joe Biden gave it to the Asians. but when you had Barack Obama as president, as Brother Tyrone articulated, this dude gave billions and billions of dollars to DACA. And I done got brain freeze on what DACA stood for. They were already giving money, billions of dollars to everybody, but when it came to black people, it's not feasible. But and they wonder why, and the Democrats, that's why they're losing now. Because finally a lot of black folks had enough and woke up. See, this is Generation X and Millennial talking to y'all. See, we not our parents nor grandparents' generation where you were able to hoodwink us. Today, we are not in the mood for lip service. And we're going to talk and we're going to deal with the facts as it is. And yo, Mr. Harris, I thank you for your candor and your contributions to this conversation. But you say we can't get reparations? Don't give up so soon. I think we're gonna get it. All we gotta do is fight for it. T-Mile 15, when you said prove it. No, wait. I wanna know. Let me go back up. Obama is a Hamite. He not gonna help Israelites. He actually made it worse with same-sex marriage. Okay. I'm not gonna argue with you on that, T-Miles. I am not gonna argue with you on that. Because I can't argue with the facts. I can't. I just can't. All right? And man, oh man, we got everybody talking. This is a beautiful thing. I'm loving it. And again, Sakina, like I said, I'm so sorry for misgendering you. But you said cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is the problem with the weather, though. How so? Okay. How's that? How so? I really want to know. That's interesting. That's an interesting point you just raised. I've heard of it, but I'm not too knowledgeable about how cloud seeding works. So, as we continue on with this conversation, right? Look, hey y'all, I want you all to understand, right, that I need for all you out there to start studying and examining everything for yourself. When we make our presentations here, don't just take our word for it. We want you to get up off your duff and start checking things out for yourself. Because now more than ever, it is critical to kick over every stone, kick over every hidden stone to find the facts. And like I say, as you can see, this is the house of point counterpoint. There were some things that you see how we take correction here? Because see, somebody knows something. And you all have to show your gifts now and let your light shine. Because like I said, it is critical that we have our own media platform. Because I'm sick and tired of all these lies being taught against our people. See, don't believe that lie that we're 13% of the American population, but we commit the majority of the crimes, and that's a lie. That's a bald-faced lie. See, don't forget what the late, great Malcolm X said 64 years ago. The media, they have the capability of making the criminal the victim, and the victim the criminal. And on that note, have any of y'all been paying attention to this issue in Cincinnati, y'all? Now, here it is, several weeks up from when you had a group of racist white Russians get their behinds handed to them. Do you see how the mainstream media, with all the videos and all the pieces of videos coming out showing that those white people were the aggressors? That here it was, they took their behinds among a throng of black people who were minding their business, start calling them every kind of nigger and coon and every other racial epithet they know of. And then one of them hit a brother, and then the melee broke out. Then they want to make this white woman, Holly, I forget her last name, Holly. They want to make her like she's the poster girl for someone innocent, but they refuse to show you the video where she jumped in the brother's face. She told me she was trying to keep things calm and break up the fight. No, you jumped in that black man's face, putting your hands on him, Holly. You wasn't innocent, and he knocked your ass out. See, look, for all my white folks out there who still think that we're in the 16 or 1700s, yo, believe me when I tell you, Generation X, this millennial generation, and the next generation to come of our people, we not having it no more. No more. Enough George Floyd's and all these other videos of us getting attacked and we not fighting back. No, we're not gonna do no more singing and dancing. We're not gonna do no more confirm with Al Sharpton and his non-action network and all these other clods out here who make money off our misery. Now we're gonna make justice for ourselves. It's a new day and a new time. You're not just gonna be able to come among a group of black folks, call them out their names, hit us, and talk about, yes, you think we're gonna be, yes, boss, I'm a good nigga. It's okay, master. It's okay. That's over with. You put your hands on any of us, and we mind our business, and we're about peace, you're gonna get your behind kicked. But yet, all the evidence, the mainstream media, with all the evidence showing that the white people started that, just like you had in the brawl in Alabama a few years ago. The white folks started, they got their behinds kicked, but the media narrative is still refusing to show the real deal. And all the black victims are now being made the criminal, and the criminals are now the victim. But you know what? That goes back to you, Mr. Harris Duncan, if you're still here on the panel. See, you mentioned civil rights, right? But I want to remind you, right, that, hold on, bear with me for a second, please. The Dred Scott decision. See, there are a lot of white folks who still adhere to that. If you don't know what the Dred Scott decision is, it goes back to 1857 when you had Dred Scott, a black man, versus a Mrs. Sanford, and it was a Supreme Court Judge Roger B. Taney who ruled that the United States Constitution did not extend American citizenship to people of black African descent. Now check that out. So basically, black people, black men and women here in America, because we are not according to the United States Constitution, are not recognized as U.S. citizens. Roger B. Taney said, a black man and woman have no rights a white man has to respect. Now, I find this interesting about the issue that we were extended citizenship and this 14th Amendment keep being mentioned. But you know what? I'm gonna save that for another time. Wait, Seventh Answer, do you have some more videos you want to show before we sign off? If so, take it away. All right, while she's getting the videos queued up and ready, like I said, hey, yo, Yashada, I see you back. No, wait, here we go, go.
That's the person my content. Really, not even 5 minutes after I posted it.
Not in jail. Police stay in his home. This was a shocking moment caught on camera. Video obtained by our NBC affiliate Wednesday when, according to court documents, a bullet was fired from his neighbor's upstairs window.
The bullet went down through my neck and then all the way back to my spine.
Adding, the last 11 months since he and his wife moved in, they've been living a nightmare next door to John Shawshack. Court documents show the victim called police 19 times prior to the shooting for incidents including harassment, hate speech, and verbal threats. Shawshack has been charged with attempted murder, but he is not in jail. Police allowing him to stay in his home because they say he's a threat to himself and others.
The likelihood of an armed, violent confrontation where we may have to use deadly force with the suspect in this case is high. We are not going to bust the door down, guns blazing, and get into a deadly force situation.
If you're saying you're scared, what does that do to me, you know?
Well, all right. Okay, and TH thank you for clarifying that you were talking to Mississippi. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Seventh Answer. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep talking.
All right, yeah. So Yashada, I see you back. What's on your mind and what you want to add more to the conversation, please?
Nothing. Go ahead. You finish up.
Oh, okay. So so as you can see, when we talk it, we produce it. And you see why I call Karima the Seventh Answer, y'all? You see how like a magician, ta-da! She just be pulling all kinds of rabbits and all kinds of information here, there, and everywhere. Yo, and this is what makes this team so dynamic. Virgo energy. It is what it is. But let me see. Oh, you said you did a show on seeding Sakina Rock. If you could tell me where I could find that show, because like I said, I don't know anything about it. This is the first I'm actually hearing of it. So, you know, as Brother Yashada says so famously, anything I can't talk about, I can't prove. I don't want to go into it until I do my research on it and study it and check it out for myself. So if you could give me your page where I can go, your site where I can go check you out, or how I could go and look at your show on it, I'll definitely check out your presentation. Or you're more than welcome to come here on our next broadcast. You know, or if you want to do it right now, 'cause we got time. It's early. We got time, and discuss it. By all means, join the panel. I would like that too, if you feel like it. Okay. Because again, like I said, it's all about each one, teach one, reach one. And there's so much going on, and everyone got their gift and their voice out here. Now, you ready, Seventh Answer? If so, take it away.
Tubes in my stomach and
neighbor, because the chief says they need to do it safely for everyone involved. Our Leon Purvis talked to the chief tonight, and Leon, a lot of people are fired up about this one.
Yes, certainly that. And that Minneapolis man is in the hospital recovering tonight. He doesn't remember much, but he says that he's had issues with his neighbor, John Solchek, since last year. Now, police haven't made an arrest yet because investigators say Solchek has a mental illness.
I woke up in the hospital with tubes in my stomach and, people telling me I'm shot.
Davis Mortuary is trying to piece together what happened on Wednesday. He says his neighbor shot him in the back. Mortuary tells us he still has a bullet in his back. He says it all started when he was trying to cut a tree.
I started cutting and I looked up and I saw some movement.
After that, Mortuary says things got blurry because he hit his head. He tells us Friday night from his hospital bed he's had issues with his neighbor. He tells Fox 9 it started in October of last year. Mortuary says he's filed multiple complaints about his neighbor and called Minneapolis police.
And I stated that it's going to take for somebody to get really hurt before anything's done. And someone really got hurt. I did. And still nothing was done.
So far, Minneapolis police have not arrested Mortuary's neighbor, and Chief Brian O'Hara is explaining why.
We are not going to bust the door down, guns blazing, and get into a deadly force situation. That's not going to happen.
O'Hara says neighbor suffers from a mental illness, and his officers need to use caution to protect everyone's safety.
My officers are in even greater danger when trying to make an arrest. If the suspect did not know before that we were looking for him, he certainly knows now.
And the chief fought back against critics who say they haven't done enough.
Anyone who suggests that the cops don't want to arrest this person is simply wrong. To be frank, the officers, however, are scared. They're scared of being prosecuted.
Davis tells us tonight that he doesn't believe that Minneapolis police are doing their job properly. The chief letting the community know that they're working around the clock to keep everyone safe. Live in Minneapolis, Leon Purvis, Fox 9.
All right, Leon. Well, after today's press conference, tensions flared between the chief and Minneapolis City Council member Andrea Jenkins. The two met behind closed doors where Jenkins won. Now, so far, Minneapolis police have not arrested that neighbor because the chief says they need to do it safely for everyone.
Illinois. John Shadbar charged with a hate crime, attempted murder, other charges, after he allegedly shot his neighbor, Melissa Robertson, in what deputies believe was a racist incident. Deputies reported Robertson underwent surgery, is recovering from her wounds. So you're there in the hospital. Then you see these Robertson's family telling NBC Chicago that Shadbar had been racially hostile towards them. Family members said Shadbar would dead N-words, N-word this, N-word lover, called me the N-word straight to my face. My mom made him apologize. A few days later, he comes out holding a gun in his underwear. Mikael Johnson, Robertson's son, said to the local outlet. And a black star on top of this one, too. Family said they had called police numerous times about the racist harassment to no avail. It wasn't until the shooting things came to a head. They would say, unfortunately, as wrong and hateful as it is, it's freedom of speech. Nothing they can do, Johnson said. This did not need to happen at all. Not just our lives, but his life, his wife's, our neighbors are all affected by it. May 7th, witnesses told authorities Shadbar fired dozens of shots at his neighbor with an assault-style rifle while they were outside, and then started walking around his property still armed. When police and first responders got to the scene, they found the victim, rushed her to a nearby hospital in critical condition. At that point, Shadbar had barricaded himself inside his home. After a crisis negotiator got him on the phone, he surrendered himself to authorities. He made several incriminating statements while talking with the negotiator, that according to the sheriff's office. Robertson's niece, Natalie Bayer, who started the online fundraiser, saying since the story began to spread, the gunman's wife has lost her rank of sergeant with the Cook County Department of Corrections and is being investigated. A GoFundMe was launched to help pay for Robertson's medical expenses. As of May 13th, it's raised nearly $11,000 of its $75,000 goal.
A chilling moment. Davis Moturi was shot while trimming a tree, captured on camera. Now his neighbor also faces assault, stalking, and harassment charges.
Tonight, a shooting on a Minneapolis front lawn sparking growing questions about why police didn't intervene sooner. Davis Moturi trimming a tree outside his home when gunfire rang out Wednesday. Police say his next-door neighbor pulled the trigger. That neighbor, John Sawchak, now wanted on multiple charges, including attempted murder.
We have a suspect who is mentally ill.
A chilling moment. Davis Moturi was shot while trimming a tree.
Okay, you see that? Now, when Shida and I talk about it, the 7th answer sheet with her resourceful, amazing self finds it. Now, just a minute ago, we were talking about Cincinnati. We were talking about how all the white people who started the fracas and the ruckus down there are being treated as victims, and the black folks are the criminals. And she just showed you a video of 3 stories that transpired a few years back. All the white people shooting their black neighbors, or shooting the one in the middle where the white guy shot the white woman for being involved with a black man. Did you hear they used a mental illness card? All 3 mentally ill. It's so full of shit. Oh, okay, I caught it. I'm sorry. They love using the mental illness card every time to explain their garbage. Now, for those of you who have your children listening, I lost control for a second. I used a colorful word. I apologize. That just gets my goat, though. You see how the media painted them? Oh, they're mentally ill. The police are going to be very careful how they arrest them. We're going to approach this very carefully. Meanwhile, you can see that when they showed you the videos, the mug shots, you can see the "I hate black people" in their faces. You can see the demon in them, and you can see the demon living behind their eyes. But it's the mentally ill. They're mentally ill. We must be careful. You see how it works? Like Malcolm X said 62 years ago, the media, they make the criminal the victim and the victim the criminal. If you're not careful, they'll have you loving the person you should be hating and hating the person you should be loving. And I'm going to say this here. Do you see how blessed you all are to have this social media giant, the lion's den, in effect, that brings you great conversationalists like Yeshaya, myself, Karimo welcomes other conversationalists to come in. And Sakina Ra, I saw your comment. We have a date. I'll see you another time, okay? I'm going to hold you to that when next time we're on the air. I want you to come in, or in the meantime, I'm going to look up this cloud seeding. But get back on. You see why you are blessed to have this great social media platform here. We do what we do for free. Why? Because it's our calling. This goes beyond money. This is a sense of duty that we do. And we unapologetically do this in the name of the one true God, Yahweh. Some say Ahaya. I'll say the Great Spirit. We do this in the name of the greatest black man to have ever walked this planet, Christ, and all the other great forefathers and mothers of that time and modern time. We do this because we have a duty and a responsibility to counter all these lies that is the demonic mainstream media, the most evil MEDIA, the most evil devil in America pushes on you. But oh my goodness, it has been a beautiful 3 hours that you have been hit with the Lion's Den, the Truthality social media platform. And this has been another episode of The Conversation Continues, talking about what's on your mind. Yeshayada, do you have any closing shots? Okay, I guess not. How about you, Seventh Answer? Do you have any closing shots? Okay, I guess not. I guess not. Well, I have plenty to say as we close out. We want to thank you out there in Lion's Den land for allowing us to come in your mind, soul, and cipher. And you're going to learn something before it's all said and done. I give honor to the Lord in Christ, from whom all positive thoughts flow. I want to thank you out here in the chat section. Christ wasn't in the camp, brother Mississippi. Sakina Ra. Okay? I thank you, Afro-Asiatic. I thank you, T-Miles 15. It's been a minute since you've been through here, T-Miles. Okay? Harris Duncan, I thank you. I am Manna. Okay? Dominique Liddell, permanent family members. Okay? I want to thank you all for your contributions in the comment section. Ramon Seifu, thank you. And as we close out, we always urge you, don't just take our word for it. We want you to get up off your duff and check things out for yourself. And in closing, in the spirit of Don Cornelius on the Hebrew tip, we always say...
Wait, I don't think I played this video. I wanted to play this video. I had it up there for heck alone, but I don't think I played it. So I want to play it real quick.
You know what? I'm going to give you the people's elbow. Go ahead. Go ahead, Seventh Answer.
Most of the tendons are cut. That's why I have all these things on as they heal.
15-year-old Chinoso Onuke is at home recovering with what police describe as life-altering injuries after a terrifying attack.
The whole thing happened so fast you would think it's a dream.
It happened here at the Neyland High School in Brandon on June 10th. Onuke, a grade 10 student at the school, says he was walking down the hallway during lunch when he saw someone.
I see a guy by there who was walking down the hallway in a black witch doctor mask, like I think a black bucket hat, something like that, and black trench coat. I look at him and I'm like, yo, this is kind of weird. This is Halloween or something.
He says he made a joke and then turned to walk away, but something made him turn around.
So I look back and he's pulling out a sword. Like, if you looked at it, it was like this. It was big.
And that is when the brutal attack began.
Before I can even think, he lunges at me, like, gets the first one in my abdomen or my leg. I don't know which one.
Onuke says he fell to the ground as the attacker continued slashing and stabbing his leg, shoulder, and chest.
It was all action, zero thought.
He says he managed to grab the blade, slicing 7 of his fingers in the process.
He tries to pull it. I don't let go. Then I push it away. and I just book it to the office.
Brandon police say another student called the school's resource officer, and within minutes, police arrived at the school, finding a 16-year-old student with a sword. Police say he was tasered and arrested and is now facing charges, including attempted murder.
Most of the tendons are cut. That's why I have all these things on as they heal.
15-year-old Chinoso Onuke is at home recovering with what police describe.
Yeah, see? The hate is real. And this is why we come in.
How you let him come in with a trench coat, knowing their reputation with trench coats and a sword, and chop up this little man like that? Okay.
Oh, you know what? I let that fly right over my head. That's right. Considering when you go back to Daryl Klebo and I forgot the other guy's name, that when they were part of the trench coat mafia and the Columbine massacre, how they came in with trench coats on, armed with submachine guns and blasted out and killed. You right. How did he get past security without being checked with a trench coat on, and underneath he had a sword? Out of school. Oh yeah. You see? I see where you're going. They're making a big deal about our boy, Carmelo Anthony, who came to school. Right. Well, yeah, I see you. Oh yeah. And yet you didn't hear nothing about this in the media. They ain't plastering this all over the nightly news. So you see why we do what we do and why it's important to appreciate the Lion's Den, the Truthality platform. Now, you have any parting shots, Karima?
That was it.
Well, all right then. As I close out, I'm going to say, in the spirit of Don Cornelius on the Hebrew tip, Shalom, peace.
That was 2 months ago. That was 2 months ago.
Okay, thank you. Shalom, peace. Ahab, love, y'all. And the posh, because it's all about preserving your soul. And we are up out of here. Peace.
I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm going to pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes.
It's the old
He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped get off the island.
Let me get straight to the business. Yeah. Got them lions in the building. Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. Why you lying to the children? RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been to bed. Man, they know they no contest. Yahuwah, he do the bed. We will not see you tomorrow. Cause you cannot go to thought. All the sons and all the daughters standing all with big manodas. But my son, he made me Taurus. On that line, I'm still a Taurus. Karate kicking Chuck Norris, 4-5 on my waist. If he started, will not hesitate to get retarded. Oh lordy, he ain't got a PowerPoint, he farted. He running to the hills like a Philistine. Jihad hitting Hamites with the guillotine. Situation turned up with the ratchet team. JJ 7000 to the bait lead. Yeah, I know them haters gon' hate me, but he won't debate me. Pistol off safety. Respond, come wake me. If I don't get up, nigga shake me. Really get me up. If he don't show up, then he fake G. I touch down and make these nigga nuts hate me. Dear brother. Ballin' and crawling all the way from H-time. Let me get straight to the business. Man, them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you horses in the spirit. I just got the Porsche, she can steer it. Michael caught the raw, Shack and Willie. Lamborghini doors, you better not spill it. Mama's high, say I'm more than just a villain. Mama's cry, arms open wide for her children. Suicide, immortalized as the realest, yeah. Black suicide. Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. Alright.